You're listening to the Para House Entertainment Network. Come join us as we take you deep into the fire to the paranormal realms of hauntings, UFOs, ETs, alien abductions, strange creatures, and the vastness of universal consciousness as we continue to seek what is not supposed to exist as we search for the truth that only comes from going into the fire. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Into the Fire. I hope you've had a great weekend. We sure have. It's been a busy weekend. We were up at the hall at a great event for the last 2 days. We were all got to visit and have a good time up there again. So it was a great event. We got a super show lined up. Beautiful day out here in Kentucky. It is warm and sticky. It's 90 degrees about. Sunshine. Great super day. And but we're gonna wind down the show and wind down your weekend with an excellent guest. We have Joe Vitale on tonight. We can't wait to get to him. Everybody is super stoked to have him on here, and we're going to talk a little bit about today's paranormal and whatever else we're going to do. We're just going to jam on it. You know how we do Into the Fire. We want to welcome our chat groups and everything else. I apologize for getting out a little bit late today, but the way this busy weekend was, it was just the way it had to play out. But thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to do a quick bio on Joe before I bring him in, and then we're going to talk to the lady sitting next to me, and also Billy and Tonya. We're going to bring them in. So Joe Vitale is a producer, a paranormal researcher, an investigator, and a cinematographer for multiple award-winning documentary films. For the multi-documentary award-winning film Harrisville Hauntings: The Real Conjuring House, which is available on multi-streaming services such as Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and many other streaming services. He has also appeared on Kindred Spirits, and boy, it's been a long weekend, and Blood in the Water. Please welcome Joe Vitale. I'm going to bring him on in just 1 minute. We'll bring him back in here, but let me get to our special guest host and Billy and Tonya. Also, let them say hi to you, and then we're going to get on fire and go deep into the fire with Joe Vitale in just 1 second. So, guys, tell me what's going on.
Like you said, it's been a busy weekend.
Yes, it was a wonderful weekend. It
was, and thanks everybody for coming out to Eichmann Hall. Enjoyed the event, and I already said it was great seeing you guys. I know you guys have been working.
Yep.
Yes, been very busy.
You know, and it's so great when you walk into the hall. Everybody who is real familiar with Billy and myself, I might be a little bit larger of a structure than Billy is. And so I've kind of gave him a nickname. You got the mascot there for you?
Which one?
There's so many now.
Oh, yeah.
That one?
Yeah, there he is. There's Nomi, and I know him, and we refer to him as Nomi all the time. And
that was actually a gift from our host this weekend.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. And it was so great to have him come to the hall gets in there, and we're doing a ghost box session, and they say Billy, and then the next, what do I call Billy? And they go, no me.
Yep.
It was great.
I've had on multiple occasions.
Yeah, it's always great to do that. So let's go over here and kick off Beth Allen. We're going to get Joe in here so we can get this thing caught on fire.
The paranormal hangover struggle is real. I need like an IV of Gatorade and something to knock me out because I feel like I've been beat up by a sack of midgets.
We'll talk to Joe about what his remedy is for a paranormal hangover.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Once again, folks, as we've gone through the bio, we're so proud and pleased to have Joe Vitale on this evening. Will you please welcome Joe Vitale?
Hey guys.
Hey, Joe.
What are you doing?
Oh, paranormal hangover. I don't have a remedy for that. I'm just like, get over it.
Slap.
How about some of that Squatch coffee?
Yeah. Have you had any Squatch coffee yet?
I haven't had a chance.
No, but it smells
man.
amazing.
I told you it was amazing. We're talking about Joe. We found our coffee. Dave Spinks has got a new. He has the World of the Weird, and he has a great friend that has a coffee company who is in music.
Shinedown.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it then, but I'll let you go ahead and say that.
You were thinking.
But he made a special blend just for them, and that blend is World of the Weird exclusive Bigfoot Blend Coffee by Spartan Brews. And man, it is the awesome stuff. But if you are, gosh dang, I am having all kinds of problems with StreamYard today. And you can find one of these great coffee cups. Get with World of the Weird with Dave Spinks to get one. Sorry, Joe. Hate to do commercials and all that stuff right off the bat, but hey.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Billy, Tonya, and Beth have the com. Let's get into let's talk about this award-winning wonderful thing that you've been involved with. You've got to be so happy about it. You want to tell us a little bit what's been going on with that?
Yeah, I was actually surprised. Matt and I knew that we could probably win some awards or whatever, but I didn't expect that many. To be honest. Now, some of those awards are more specific to Matt for editing and director, music and stuff like that. So good for him. That's awesome. But as for the whole team, just it's crazy. I didn't ever expect that. And I think when it comes to paranormal documentaries, I don't think, and I'm not like trying to brag or like, hey, look at me. I don't think there's a paranormal documentary out there that's won that many awards. So we may, again, I'm not sure, we may hold the record on a paranormal documentary that's won that many awards.
I think you're probably up there with it. I know one that had I think you have 22 awards, correct?
Yeah.
That you got? Yeah.
Yep.
And I know of one other that had 16 awards.
Oh, wow.
And the reason why I know about it is because it was filmed and done at the Hall Museum by the Orphan Brigade. It was called A Ghost Story. And hasn't been seen much over here. Very popular across the pond, though. And they also cut an album. It's about them making an album and doing it at the hall. But man, I think the way to do things nowadays in the paranormal is to be able to do good, solid documentaries.
Right.
Not this crap we're seeing today. When you're watching the YouTubes and all this other stuff. The people like yourself who is going out, doing the boots on the ground investigating, sitting in a place, filming it, telling a story, and documenting stuff, that means so much to the paranormal field, and I think so many people miss that. For me personally, after all the years that I've spent in this field, I loved it when you were at the hall. We got to talk and sit back and watch you do your thing for a little bit and come home and have you here on the show today. Because as not an owner, but as a museum director who works at and volunteers all of his time to the Octagon Hall Museum, which is owned by the Octagon Hall Foundation, to better that place, to tell a story about history, and to keep the paranormal alive for people who want to do researching and everything, who are truly about that, means so much to me. And I thank you for honoring that when you were there and continuing that style, because the people we have there come up there anymore are all about me, not doing anything for the paranormal, not doing anything for the facility itself, or to help it along. I know that you feel pretty passionate about that, don't you?
Right. Yeah. What I've been seeing, it's been going on for quite some time, but now starting to see this kind of thing really get a lot of traction, where you have these specifically YouTubers and TikTokers as well, going into these locations and making these claims that, they were attacked by demons. And never mind the history that goes out the window. It's like, yeah, hey, this is what this place was. Go and investigate, and demons everywhere. Demons. Yeah. I was at Octagon Hall, of course, and I don't know what happened to the demons. I don't know if they were afraid of me or they just weren't there. Did they have the day off? I'm not sure. But I've never, honestly, when I was there, I was comfortable. Yeah, it had its moments where it felt a little odd at times, but nothing intimidating or anything like that. At the same time too, though, I'm probably like one of the most boring people to ever investigate with, because I'm not super animated or anything like that. I'm just laid back. Whatever happens. But that's not to say that I don't get excited when certain things happen. I mean, in the documentary, The Harrisville Haunting, the chair moved, and I'm like, my camera stopped working. Like, never mind the chair. I don't care. I've seen stuff like that 100 times. My camera, it's not working. It stopped. But it's all about, not for me, but for those on YouTube, certain YouTubers, it's all about that fame. It's the clicks, it's the money. And it's so, I'm trying to be careful what I say here. I'm trying to like watch the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Let it flow, bro. Let it flow.
I mean, if you want me to let it flow, okay, it's fairy tale bullshit.
Yeah.
Right.
And to see
now
people,
we're cooking.
to see
anything to get views.
Right. But that doesn't, now people say, well, you know what? At least they're getting people interested in the paranormal. What? No, that is not.
I call bullshit.
I mean, they're only interested in seeing what happens to somebody else. Other than that, the majority of the people who watch the videos, they're not going to go to a location and investigate it. They're not going to go to events. They're just going to, sit at home and watch it through a screen, which is fine. That's awesome. But also, it's it doesn't reflect well on locations either. For example, the hall.
Yeah.
It is a historic location. I'm sure that there are a lot of children who come to that place and they check it out. They learn history, all that stuff. And that's awesome. However, if a parent, a teacher, principal, whoever, hey, we're going to take a field trip or we're just going to go to Octagon Hall and check this place out. Hey, let's get online. Let's see what it's all about. They go online and they start seeing these videos. Attacked by a demon at Octagon Hall. And all the other crazy stuff. All hell breaks loose at Octagon Hall. That doesn't go over very well.
Exactly. 100% right. And
considering that we are basically in the Bible Belt, and the majority of people, religious people, they don't believe that ghosts exist. It's it is all demons to them.
Correct.
So when they see that, they're like, nope, I'm not putting myself or my family in harm's way like that. And it's sad to see even people who have these locations own them. Some of them, they're just like, hey, as long as it brings business to me. And it's like, wow. So it's like they try to, some of these location owners try to be, honest and open and stuff. However, it's okay if somebody else makes up these things for them, so long as it benefits them. Never mind stepping up and saying, this is bullshit. And I've had a couple of owners say, well, as long as it brings people here, it's disheartening.
And that is that BS. Now that's not helping the field at all. And it's almost like they think they're a boy band. Okay, NSYNC's not around anymore. I know New Kids on the Block are back. But this is what it's doing. It's what they're doing. Just enough not to go to jail. Okay. They're out here like attracting the younger kids that aren't even old enough to be out here safely.
Right.
I had a location that they were like, do you know so-and-so and so-and-so? I'm like, are they even like 21? Like, are they like 15? And they're out talking about demons and charging $666 for a ticket at a location to come see them. And these kids are wanting to go. They're paying for it.
Yep. Or they're wanting to do things that they showed that they were playing around with, and they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. And that causes more issues too, because they don't know what they're opening up and getting when they're trying to communicate.
We have no idea what we're dealing with to begin with anyways. It's based on belief. Well, this is what we believe, so I guess, this is what it is. This is what we're going to call it. Right. We could be dealing with something completely different that we've never even thought about. And that could be even far more dangerous. And that's the other thing is you got these young kids watching these videos, believing this stuff, and it's putting them at risk.
They're impressionable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They can get themselves hurt or find themselves in a very bad spot that they absolutely do not want to be in. And nobody's really saying anything about it. Hey, as long as they're coming to my location or they don't even know. These owners of these locations don't even know what's going on.
Well, for one that sits there and helps run one, I'll give you my 10 cents per worth, maybe $1.50 or $100. It sucks, because look, I'm not just a paranormal guy who everybody knows. Oh, Bear runs and helps run Octagon Hall and is there at Octagon Hall, knows the history of Octagon Hall, knows all this stuff. I'm also been in paranormal for a long time. We've investigated Octagon Hall thousands of times. Billy, have you ever seen a demon at Octagon Hall?
No, but I wanted to act like one a time or two.
So I mean,
I've seen and I've experienced some really crazy stuff there.
Oh, we all have. Yeah.
But demon, no.
No.
You know, and it's funny because people don't in the paranormal, when you spend the time and you're doing the paranormal, it is you're always learning. Never, you know, the people who think I got this down, I had this theory, people, you know, the young teams that come out are together for about 2 years and they'll start sitting around talking about, oh, I've got this handled. I'm you know, this is my theory on the whole thing situation. Man, it changes every day. Look at look at the way that we're living right now. Stuff that's happening in the world. That affects the spirit world also. I mean, it really, truly does. And you have to think about it. But, you know, when people come to the hall, we have a dang agreement that we sit out. Don't do this. Don't do that. Because the reason why we do it is because I've had people do it. I mean, it's like going, I feel like I'm the guy who's writing the little label on the back of the shirt said, please don't iron this while you're wearing it. You know, I mean, how stupid can you be? I mean, okay, this is our contract with you. If you're going to post, you know, we own all of the evidence. We own it all. If you want to post it, be respectful. Let me, you know, I'd like to look at it, or the board would like to look at it, so we know that we're representing Octagon Hall correctly. You know, we also don't want, as you're mentioning, you've got children that come into the hall and they love the hall. They want to learn history. Moms and dads bring them in there. And then we have school groups. Now, when you bring the school groups in, what happens? You know, a lot of homeschoolers, everything else coming in there. Well, these kids are watching YouTube. They want to know about, oh, the demons. This is a terrible place, and it'll affect your business. It affects everything. We had a person that was just touring the hall, and every once in a while we'll let them use a ghost box or something in the hall while they're walking through and or doing recordings. And this lady came in the hall, walked downstairs, and saw some people doing questioning and asking questions of the residents there at the house. And she runs out screaming, I gotta get out of here. They're talking to demons.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Because they don't know.
They don't know.
She looked like the Flash.
Right. Yeah, she looks like the Flash. It's terrible, you know, but and the bad part about it is, look, you know, when you have a location like Octagon Hall, it was Billy Bird's legacy. If he wanted to turn that into a historic museum and continue it for education, people and everything else, the paranormal just came along when it was. Billy didn't believe in the paranormal, but being in that house and seeing certain things and everything else, it became like, wow, this is a paranormal event. And the next thing you know, people started doing it and asking them, say, can we investigate? Well, in 2001, well, actually 2002. In 2002, it cost you $300 to investigate Octagon Hall. And you had it from the afternoon until the next morning. Today, in 2023, how much does it cost for a team of 6 people to investigate Octagon Hall? $300. The reason why we do that is because it's about the hall, but it's also about the history. And when you're a paranormal investigator and you're doing research and you're getting information, it also helps us do more research, because when a spirit talks to you and says something to you, and you let us know about it, then we can go back and try to validate that.
Right.
You know, and that's part of the helping that spirit release and also know their story and everything else. But, you know, I have seen places that are on the books that they've had, oh, ghost hunters have been out to this TV show, or this YouTuber has been out here. $1,500, $2,000 a night to do that. Octagon Hall has been on every friggin' TV show out there. I'm sorry to say this. If you are going to have a new TV show, you will be coming to Nottingham Hall. I guarantee you. You'll ask to come to Nottingham Hall. But guess what? We don't do anything different with our prices. We want people to experience the hall. It's a training. It's a great place to come. It's a great place to be able to be. It's a beautiful facility. It's historical. And yes, it is weird. It's not only paranormal, it's supernatural.
It's weird.
And when I get to see somebody going, my God, I got scratched and I got my liver hanging out of my stomach.
That's almost a thumb. Literally, that is almost a thumbnail on a certain channel on YouTube.
Yes, yeah, and it's like going, man, that dude needs to see a doctor.
You need to go to the hospital and get some staples.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, going,
you need your liver.
Never seen one of those at all. And it's funny because people don't realize it's paranormal. Friday night. Had a girl walk in there. Wasn't there more than 15 minutes. Was she? And what she did? Her arm got scratched. Wasn't a demon.
No. Right. And for all we know, it just wanted attention. Right. It wasn't trying to harm that
exactly.
person.
Wasn't trying to harm her or anything else, just trying to say, hey, or whatever. You don't
know.
And people turn around and the first thing they go is, oh, demon, that's terrible. Look,
they could have put out a little bit too much energy to try to touch them, and it came out as a scratch.
Right.
Just like if something's dark, it manifested that way. Doesn't mean it's bad. It might be the only way it knows how.
Yeah. Well,
maybe it doesn't have enough energy to go past that point.
Right.
Yeah.
My whole view on that is, demon's not going to play with you.
Nah.
We know that from experience.
Demon's not going to go, ooh, I got you.
It's going to do one of two things.
If it's going to get you, you're probably not going to be YouTubing at the moment.
More than likely, if there is something demonic at a location, it's not going to bother with you. It's usually, and you guys know this, you guys have been investigating for a long time. Usually a certain individual that comes into a location that ultimately experiences something like that, if there is something demonic there. But then you have the other issue where somebody's like, hey, this happened to me, and oh my God, this was bad. And then you have a lot of people running out there going, oh, I've been there so many times that they don't know what they're talking about. It's like, no, don't shrug them off. There may be a reason why it happened to that person, and find out why, figure out what's going on. Yeah. So, I mean, go ahead, Billy.
We all say it, if you were an asshole in life and you pass on, you're probably going to be an asshole in death.
Yep.
Right.
And if you played a lot of pranks in life, you're going to play a lot of pranks in death.
Oh, if I'm a ghost, dude, I'm pretending I'm Satan himself. That's what I'm going to do.
And I'm going to let people run, and I'm going to laugh.
And unfortunately, I guess for the demons, like a lot of so-called demonologists, there is no piece of paper to certify you.
No.
So that is a topic that I've talked about a few times this year, actually. So I talked to a friend of mine who's a demonologist. I won't bring his name up here out of respect for him, just in case. But he gets a kick out of it. It also makes him upset too that you have people out there who call themselves demonologists. And it's like, well, what qualifies you as a demonologist? I read books. No, there's hands-on stuff that's involved. And there are so many things that are involved.
Another rabbit hole y'all don't want to go down.
You just can't open a book on demonology and read it and be like, I'm a demonologist.
And print yourself a little certificate off the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, everybody wants a participation damn award and medal, and they hadn't participated in shit.
Right.
And it's getting to be, people are getting hurt.
You know,
Right.
in all truth, too, if there's a demon involved, the church is probably going to be involved in that.
Right.
You know?
Mhm.
I mean, if I run into something demonic, and I can't do anything about it if it's at a location, because with basically every location, they're like, yeah, don't be trying to move spirits on, like, don't do that. But if it's a residential, yeah, then I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get somebody who knows, I don't, because yeah, you become a target, and I don't need to be more of a target than I already am. So, like, I'm gonna let these guys handle this.
Yeah.
I'll go in there and I'll run my mouth to a demonic entity, but I also know that I put myself, not just myself, but other people at risk. So it's something that I don't hardly ever do, unless I know it's there and I'm trying to get a reaction out of it. But other than that, I'm kind of like, yeah, dude, I'm not afraid of you. But anyways, is there anybody here with me?
Right. Yeah. And you had other big point about it is, and this is where you're going to, where you can tell the difference. Most of the people that are out here investigating and doing these clickbait YouTube videos and coming to these locations and paying the money and then trying to make money back by being on YouTube and getting multiple clicks, and they get massive amount of money for that. All right, you're getting 1 million clicks and you're making money. Doesn't make anything for me or anyone else involved. But the odd thing about it is that if you're a paranormal investigator, you're not gonna, most of the entities that you're gonna find at a location that you're paying for are not going to be demonic unless somebody actually did some major spell work and brought something up in that, or they're carrying it with them, and they just burst into a ball of flame in the middle of the building. But when you go to these residentials, and most of these people are doing the clickbait, they don't do residentials, because why? You have to have immunity. You can't just go into a guy's house and talk about what you've just done, because it's not right. You can't do that. We're going in to help people. We're going in to do that. They don't do paranormal investigations in a residential type atmosphere.
I have seen them do it in a residential, or supposedly a residential, and the way they conduct themselves and what they say is horrifying. Exactly, because I'm like, okay, first off, why are you telling them this? Yeah. What is wrong with you? And then, we talked a little bit like, these theories, like, well, there's this theory, and it's like, no, that theory is like way outdated. Like that. Why? Like, did you just start investigating and heard that somewhere just recently and decided to spit that out? Because that's not a thing anymore. We don't deal with that or try to do whatever it is that that they spit out there. And I'm just baffled. I'm like, they have no experience, and it shows. Some of the stuff they say about their equipment. I'm like, do you know how to wipe your ass? Because that is not how that thing works. In fact, most of the equipment, and I know people are going to get a little upset with me, most of the equipment out there anyways, it's a gimmick. It doesn't really do what it says to begin with. Like, hey, I'm going to go buy a REM pod. That's great. But, you can build one for about $20 because all it is a theremin, and a theremin is just an instrument. If you get your hand close, to the antenna, it's going to, make that noise. There's other equipment. I'm trying to be very careful about pointing out specific pieces of equipment. Yeah. There was another piece of equipment that had lights all the way around it. And they're like, hey, whatever direction these lights are lighting up at, that's where the spirit is. And it detects static electricity. Wow. An engineer took that apart and like, this thing doesn't do anything that it says, just randomly lights up wherever. at any given time. And yet people are spending hundreds of dollars on this stuff.
Not me, I'm broke.
Joe, I'll be honest, man. We've got quite a bit of equipment, but we hardly ever even use it.
No, we
No.
don't use it anymore.
When it
You know,
goes off,
and my point to that being is, if I'm too busy staring at this,
You're not seeing what's going on over here.
I'm missing what's happening right in front of me. You
Right.
know?
but here's the other thing. The equipment doesn't tell us anything. It doesn't tell us what's there. It's not like,
No.
hey, it's a ghost. No, it doesn't. It just, okay, it lit up. Why? Well, I can think of 100 other reasons why before something paranormal, but it doesn't tell me anything. Okay, ooh, the EMF spiked. Why? You know, EMF can move. Like, EMF can be detected from really far away with some of the detectors that we have. So just because it goes off doesn't mean it happened like right around us. Hell, it could have been down the street for all we know. But yet, you know, you get that blip like, oh my God. And then, of course, you know, if you're on YouTube, you got to sell it. You know, you got to flip out and go crazy. And, you know,
Bleed.
the other,
Bleed, yeah, bleed. You know, you're right, Joe. But you know, there are some equipment that is great, radiation detectors. Well, you'll never see one have it, but radiation does happen during a paranormal investigation, and it's been proven by many times.
Right.
Tri-field meters, natural tri-field meters, that kind of stuff is great stuff because
you
you're actually
can pinpoint.
right,
Yeah.
and you can document that event and what's happening to it. You know, so there's so much stuff that happens. I mean, a lot of people don't even notice when they listen to EVPs. Sometimes they may even hear a short little pop before an EVP.
Yep.
Or they'll hear the EVP. Well, what is that? That's something breaking that barrier, that thing, and that's going to cause a radiation spike. That's going to cause a little spike in the difference. And
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you even hear it. If you listen real carefully, you might hear it very lightly before it even says it again, like it echoes it, and it's louder the next time. But you know, there's so many different things, so many different ways, and people are not studying and doing the right things. I mean, I had a guy not too long ago tell me, "Oh, hey, we got a great recording," and you know, he says, and then played around and he gave it to a few other people, never analyzed it, anything else. And next thing you know, like going, well, that's too weird because it's every 10 seconds it's repeating itself. That's got to mean that somebody has a machine in there and that was set up. And oh my God, that's so terrible for the hall. I hope they kick people out, did that, or everything else. Bull crap. If you're an investigator, put it on a recording and look at the spaces and the difference, you know. And if you're fooling around in a place and you're playing games and somebody says, "Oh, damn children," over and over again, I got a feeling that you might be pissing them off.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So, but anyway, it is what it is.
The other thing too is I won't name the specific one that I'm referring to, but I've been to a location where they've lied about history. That I went in there to investigate with some other people, and we investigated it a specific way based on what the other people on the team group, whatever you want to call it, what they researched, what they're being told. We go there, the caretaker, he shows us a picture of 3 women all dressed up as witches saying, yeah, you know, this one here, you know, this is the one that lived in this house and she is the witch and blah, 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 blah. I went on with the story. I'm not going to get into the whole story, but then something happened. Infants were dying. They're like, oh, then they blamed her sister. So they went and they hung her sister. Okay, well, this is a crazy story. Okay. Afterwards, I was so pissed. Afterwards, come to find out, the picture, because I took a picture of it with my phone, and I did a reverse search on Google, and immediately what showed up was that picture, and it was for a Halloween costume shop, a high-end Halloween costume shop. And then I started looking in like Ancestry or whatever the heck it's called, their website and stuff. It told me how one person, there was no like the person existed, but there wasn't like a cause of death or anything like that
Mhm.
in there. But the sister, however, lived to be an old woman and died of something to do with her stomach. I'm like, well, she wasn't hung. And then I'm now I'm pissed. Now I'm doing my own research, and I'm finding out, this place was supposed to, well, the story was, it was used as an orphanage, and these kids were treated horrible, and all these horrible things happened to the children. It was never used as an orphanage. It was designated to, but it was never ever used as an orphanage. It stayed empty until an individual who was a judge bought it. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing that this judge is letting these stories fly. I don't think I ever could count on him to handle or make judgment on my court cases anyways. But that happens a lot too. I know Karen, she's from Australia. She was at Octagon Hall along with another friend of mine who was in chat, Cassie from Weeping Willow. They were at Octagon Hall, and they love the place. And but Karen, she's been doing research on a lot of other locations, and I've told him, like, you're gonna be surprised how much bullshit there is.
Right. And a lot of the TV shows will have things on the TV show, and you find out that that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
They've lied to make it look like something they wanted it to look like, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly.
Everybody's got to remember, I mean, this is about ratings.
Right.
Right.
You
Or
know,
also even
Right.
Truth.
it's not about the truth. It's not about the location or
Not about the evidence.
or respect for the location and its residents. It's about getting ratings.
right.
Because if they're not watching them, that means they're watching somebody else doing the same exact thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Because him and I have been to a lot of locations and did some searching and found out that some of the stuff that they had said on TV was just absolute bullshit.
right.
Oh,
Coming from staff members,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah. Well, I can tell. I mean, I don't mind talking about this. The experience was a lot of fun. It was great. So I did the whole kindred spirits thing. I was on there for 18 seconds or something. I always joke around about that. I was on TV for 18 seconds, guys. Look at me. Because a lot of investigators, they get their little few seconds of TV, and they're like, "Oh, look at me," and then as seen on TV, and trying to use it to hype themselves up. And I do that, but I do that more in a sarcastic way. But they came out there, and Amy and Adam, the whole crew, they were awesome, amazing people. What I didn't appreciate, though, was I handed over a lot of information to an individual who works with that production company. In there, proved that there was never, ever a curse put on that land. Never happened. It was a promise. Dragon Canoe was pissed off. He didn't like the deal. He's like, I'm going to murder people.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's a curse. They went with the curse. They also did this to me, which I did not appreciate, because that doesn't look good for me, because people who watch that, those kind of shows, have no idea who the hell I am. I'm just some guy on TV.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't put me as an investigator. No, a historian. I can't even remember how old I am or what I had for dinner yesterday. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I peed today. And I'm a historian. And then they made it like I was afraid of the place. Amy had said in narration, I'll never forget the look of fear in Joe's face. I have investigated that place so many times with people, by myself. Yeah, there's some really weird stuff that goes on there, and you can get a little nervous
Yep.
in there. But I'm not afraid.
No, your
I kept-
fear was of them doing exactly what they did, messing up your stuff.
Right.
And they took what I said, they kind of twisted some of the things, and I was trying to be so careful of how I was presenting things to them. I was nervous, and I had a bunch of cameras on me. I was nervous, and then I think they used the whole part where, like, I'll never forget the look of fear in Joe's eyes when I'm looking at the camera crew, kind of when I'm talking to Amy and Adam. But I noticed something out of my peripheral up on the third floor of the place. I look over, oh, it's the camera guy. Like, I had shot because I thought somebody had actually busted in there and was running around looking out the window. So I think they used that opportunity to their advantage. But
Well, they probably went over the footage a million times looking for anything that they could tweak and convert and change into what they wanted it to be.
right.
And, it's amazing. I've had the opportunity to be interviewed by a lot of people, been filmed by a lot of people. Some of the worst things about it is the teams will actually ask me questions. They want me to, this is okay if I just record you. And then you'll never see me in a recording at all, but they'll tell you the story of everything that I said. And they did, I'm like going, where'd you get that at?
Yeah, we do not do that.
Where'd that come from? Where'd this come from?
A ghost,
Right.
a demon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a demon.
Demon has got to
It's a
be.
demon.
And then,
So-
same thing with the shows. I hate it when they're sitting there going, well, so you've had an experience where, would you say this? No. Well, okay, I want you to say this. And you're like going,
Yeah, say it this way. Mhm.
yeah, say it this way, say it that way. And then they splice it all together. And by the time when you're filming, you're not thinking about it, but I can guarantee you they can take all those things and make one sentence and say, I'm scared to death that I've just peed myself and I gotta go. You know?
But when I do stuff like that and I get a walkthrough and I film it, the whole thing is there. I might cut it down just for time's sake.
Oh, sure,
But
exactly.
I don't take their words and mix it all up and make it sound like it was, something that was said that really wasn't. I try to make sure that everything is in context.
Well, that's because you're doing a documentary, man. You are doing a service to a facility. You're doing a service to other people to document paranormal activity, to document historic locations. And man, this old man's got his hat off to you because I enjoy the stuff that you've done. I think it's important that other people do it. And the way in the future of this field is for people to document great investigations. Go more and more for it. That's what you're going to see. The crap on YouTube, all this other stuff, it's just crap. They're not going to be around. Heck, half of them, if they do run into something, they've got some kind of weird attachment.
Probably somewhere down the line, they're going to hit some legal problems.
Right.
And
Some
not
of
gonna
them
do it
have.
again.
Major
Some of them
problem.
have. Yeah.
But the other part about it is that I got to say, is don't be coming to a facility and do stuff that's super. Don't take an Aztec death whistle, sit on the back porch and blow it and come on. All spirits, come on in the house. Come on in the house.
I'm
We're
just
going in
inviting
the house.
something that's not supposed to be there.
Or
Right.
blow on it until your lungs hurt, and then you're like, "Oh my God, I'm having a heart attack."
Yeah,
Well,
You
that's
know?
because you just blew for 10 minutes into that damn.
right. Or some of the stuff that happens, and I'm like going, there are many things that are in, out, or anything else. It's just, and you can communicate with a lot of spirits, and you may be communicating to one if you got a ghost box on or anything else. It doesn't mean it's there in that place. You may be bringing it in from coming up on another frequency. It's coming right in from down the street, or
All right. Or the person that's with you.
yeah, or
But
with
you know-
it, whatever.
the documentaries, I love watching a good documentary because I know I'm going to get the truth out of it.
That's exactly
Because
true.
they have
You're
spent
right
the
about that.
time and the days, and they are researching. They've got cameras up and catching legitimate stuff.
Right.
It's not made up.
You know,
It's
these,
not a
these
fake
people
story
are
behind it.
they're boots on the ground. They're doing their research. They're not sending out an aide or a production assistant to do the research for them and then coming back and say, oh, let's say this, this, and this.
It's real life. It's what happens when you're out in the field.
So
Sometimes you get scared, and sometimes you're like going, "What was that?"
So what we did on our YouTube channels for transparency, we did like put it behind a paywall, which like if people want to like sit there and say we fake something, well, I guess you're just gonna have to pay for it and find out you were wrong. But
Right.
but we do open it up. Like we'll live stream, and I do this as well. I've been doing this with Octagon Hall. I will actually openly put up the footage, uncut, unedited, and watch it. And it is the most boring shit ever.
Yeah.
But I'm showing transparency. I'm showing, look, this is what it's really like.
It's like fishing.
Yeah, it really isn't like all this crazy stuff. It's honestly very boring. And I don't even know why I'm spending my money on it, but I am.
Right.
And another thing about the documentaries, you guys are spending more than just a couple of hours in this location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're spending days,
Weeks.
30 days. I mean, whatever.
But it's like fishing. You can go sit on the boat all day long and not get a bite.
Right. And
you can go out the next day and you can catch like 5 fish. You just don't ever know.
Right. And the majority of the time that I go to locations, I don't really come up with anything. But I also understand that is the risk that I take.
Yes.
I was getting a little worried that, like with Octagon Hall, we honestly, like, we didn't have a whole lot happen. However, I do know when I went on the little tour, when you guys took me on the little tour, I heard a little girl, and Beth heard it too. And we heard what sounded like something scooting across the floor above our heads.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, it was captured. I do wish it was in better quality, but when we were having dinner, Dawn said, well, it just felt like something walked up on me and like pulled my hair up.
No, I saw it.
It happened.
Your hair moved.
Yeah.
Like a big chunk of it. Like,
yeah, it went upwards and we caught that. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. I mean, and for a lot of people, they may think, that's it, really? No, that's a big deal. Those little things, something moving, even just a little bit, and you don't have an explanation for it, if you can't debunk it or whatever. I mean, there could be, but there are certain instances where it's like, there's no reason why that should have happened.
Right.
But other people may look at that and be like, that's it? What do you mean that's it? That's significant.
That is.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And that was something that we were having an issue with in some of the reviews for the Harrisville haunting. People were expecting, and again, this comes back to the crap on TV and the majority of the stuff now coming from YouTube. All these big crazy things happen. Oh, but yet when something legit happens and it's something subtle, people are like, oh, that for this? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like that is significant. That's a big deal. It's hard. It is. You can't it's like you just can't win.
Well, people don't understand it. I mean, and yes, there are
my advice is get out there and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Put your own feet on the ground and stop supporting those that are, hurting the field, hurting the homes and locations.
exactly.
Don't follow
them. Look, if people.
I know the videos and stuff that you're talking about, things like that, and we've had incidences with live streams of people doing some janky stuff at the hall. and
Yeah.
it really ticks us off. And
Takes everybody off.
you better get that off. You better take that down, or
Yeah. But I mean, you know what it's like? I mean, I can get banned off I can get banned off certain areas. But you know how hard it is to get somebody else to pull a video? They don't want to do it. They can't do it. Get a hold of YouTube and do it. You know, it's retarded. The way this is set up, it's like going, if you're promoting a satanic thing, golly Jesus, I think that you're going to be on there all night long. I mean, you can do anything on YouTube. That's what they're promoting. That's what they want to see.
well, I mean, as an investigator, I'm like Joe. I want to see the actual
Stuff.
Sometimes the smallest little thing is one of the biggest things. You just miss it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Just watching them move something like a table or a chair.
I don't want to see your face going, "Oh my God," you know.
Yeah.
I want to see what you're "Oh my God" and about, you know.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Or you're running, and then you say, "Well, this happened." Not well.
Yeah. We've had so many great teams at the hall, and you know, paranormal investigations like fishing, like Tonya said. You know, you're going to throw out different baits. You're going to use different stuff. I'm old, and we like to sit in the hall and just listen. We don't chase things. We're not going to do that. Well, they'll come to us. If they want to talk to us and they want to see us, they come to you. But there are times in the hall that teams will come down there, and you'll spend. There'll be a time in the hall where it'll be an hour long, and it may be the most hair-raising experiences you ever seen. Paranormal activity will come to you so fast and so quick that you're going, "Wow, that's incredible," and that's great. I think it's super that people are truly catching that and enjoying the hall and enjoying that experience and come back, and we appreciate that support. But the people that go in there, sit down for a few minutes, and then grab a knife or something like that, or put something on them, a pack of ketchup or a bottle of ketchup appears in the hall, and you're like going, "Wow, what's it doing in here?" You know.
I tell you, there are times where I go to a location and I find where did that go exactly? It's somewhere, but I found a spool of string just on the floor.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Who's been here? Then I find out. Another thing too is that just real quick, not all of us. I don't really consider myself a YouTuber, but not all YouTubers are making a ton of money doing live streams and stuff like that. It's
right.
A very select few. And now you got location like, hey, if you're going to film here, if you're going to go live, I want more money. And it's like, dude, you're charging me enough to investigate. The least you can do is let me somehow recover from spending that money, because I'm never going to get it back. I have never, ever broke even with our documentary. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, you guys, you must be making a lot of money." Hell no. We're not making a lot of money at all. Because it goes everywhere. Like every streaming service is on.
Money.
Yeah,
right.
Every streaming service it's on, they get a cut. Our distributor gets a cut, and then we get a cut. But we're not doing it for money. It's nice to be able to fund future stuff,
right?
But it's not about the money. But it's the other thing. Let me think about how I want to say this. With the YouTubers out there who are faking it, the entertainment guys, now they're getting booked at events and stuff as if they're legitimate investigators. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I'm not saying that out of jealousy or anything like that, but it's like, hi, do you have 4 guys who went to the Conjuring house, won 22 awards, did a whole lot of research, a ton of research. No, because we don't have, those huge followers or nothing like that. Nobody's beating down my door to be a guest at events or anything like that, which is fine. I'm not upset about that. But point being is, I can think of a lot better people than some
Right.
morons on YouTube who are
And then with
faking.
that,
What
it's
am I?
got to be entertainment purposes. They just want to see what they're going to do, and that's it.
And I realize, look, you do events, you got to make money. I understand that. But now you're bringing in these people who are undermining the community. They don't give a shit because it's about being famous.
Right.
It's about making money. That's what it's about. They don't care. They don't care about these locations. If they cared about these locations, they wouldn't be throwing up thumbnails of them getting destroyed and scratched, and all this other stuff. Yelling, claiming demons. I'm sorry. And the fact that there's one team out there, I don't know, I think they're twins. Anyways,
Maybe.
and then there's another guy who explores, and there's another guy who, anyways, working with these television shows, like being a part of television shows like Ghost Adventures. I'm seeing what might be twins. I'm not sure. Anyways, on Ghost Adventures.
Oh, there are two of them? Just saying.
Yeah. They're brothers. I think they were born almost at the same time. Definitely on the same day, but I'm not sure. Yeah, but anyways, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. And then there was another show that was canceled from Travel, which I enjoyed that show. And I believe, these kids, they have a lot of talent. But then to see them pairing up, because now they have a YouTube channel, pairing up with certain individuals that we do know fake and bringing them aboard, that does not look good on them. The credibility, gone. It is gone. But again, it's them thinking like a YouTuber, trying to network, bringing in as many people over to their channel as possible.
Because they know they have a lot of followers, and they're trying to get some of their followers on them.
Also,
in return, these other people who they'll get those followers as well. It's like, oh, these people work with him. Cool.
It's all about ego, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, YouTube, Facebook, it's all about hits. It's all about me. It ain't about the team. It's not about nothing. It's about them. They're feeding their ego. Ego is the worst damn thing you got. There are many people in here and in this field that can do events and do things and be wonderful at it. And, that's another part. Don't even get me started on the people who want to call you to do events and ask, we want to do an event because they want to make some money. Because all of a sudden they think that they can do an event because someone else does an event or guide people through it. And most people don't know the next thing about it. Or it's a party time. Or you got people going in and boozing and everything else. I mean, who lets people go into your investigations and just drink and whore around?
Don't ask that question because they're out there.
Oh, that's what I mean. I mean, we know they're out there.
Yeah.
But I'm like going, and these people here, these TV people were, and look what they fell into. And now they're just, nickel and diming themselves together to keep their face on someplace and go into these investigations. And how are these people are coming to see them or wanting to know about the paranormal from what they are thinking is an expert in the field, but all they were actors, that were playing an investigator. And here they are, they're teetotaling, drinking all over. Come here, honey.
I mean,
that's paranormal.
I've seen a couple of them on TV where they are just they're fucked up, for lack of a
Yes.
better word. They I mean
Oh,
they
that's-
are.
Yeah, you're right.
They look, hey, they do the thing on TV and stuff like that, but once they're away from that camera, it's like, wow, you're a completely different human being. It's
Yeah.
like, oh wow, very surprised. No, I have met Steven and Dave from Ghost Hunters, and they were cool. I met the guys
Yeah.
from the Wraith Chaser, dude. They're freaking cool.
Yeah.
And I've met some others too who were very cool, but there's a couple where I'm like,
Oh, thanks.
But it's thankfully though, we do have debunkers out there on YouTube, and they're constantly debunking these guys. Like they're finding out what these guys are doing. They're watching the tricks and all this other stuff. But also they get a lot of flack back, especially from people who support those kind of channels. Like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, and they'll get hateful. Some of them have gotten death threats in their emails and things like that. But there are debunkers out there. Some of them are very silly, but I mean that's just the nature of YouTube, anyways. But they're there, and if people actually watch, they'll see what's going on. We just it needs to just kind of get
We
up.
don't have to worry about throwing names out because everybody else is doing it for us.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
But
the sad thing for those of us that have been doing this for a long time, and we do it to help people, and we do it because we're drawn to it. We've experienced it. We don't care about putting everything out on the table and dramatizing like the Hall. Anybody that knows us knows how passionate we are about the Hall. We know it's haunted. I can't tell you how many hours we've logged in the Hall. I mean,
And we don't run around going, "Oh my God, did you see that?"
Right.
we got married there,
Yeah.
In the toilet.
and when we see these people pulling this stuff like that, it ticks us off.
And even if, like Bear, if you throw something out there and you call them out, be like, no, that is not what happened. This is all make believe. The people who follow them, they're gonna come
The
at
minions.
Right.
they're gonna come at you and tell you don't know what you're talking about. You're a liar, or you're jealous, or you're a hater.
Right.
Insert. I can't stand that. When people
Welcome
get
to
called out.
Paranormal Unity 101. Hi, I'm Paranormal Unity. No, you're not paranormal anything. You're an egomaniac that's trying to get people to follow you. They do. And then you have massive minions that jump on you because, oh, you're beating up on you said something terrible about this.
Right.
Yeah, you said something terrible about my favorite YouTuber who doesn't even know I exist, who doesn't
Right.
even care about me, and I
Right.
just throw
Yeah.
money at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And it's just like, golly, geez. Sorry, but it's very, very sad. I want to, there's so many people out here saying hi to you and everything else. I got a grandpa, Joe, hand peek waving. It's awesome. It's awesome that all the people are Billy and Tonya and anyone in the chat room. If you, I've just got in there. You want to read some of these people that are on here?
Well, I can't.
Oh, that's
say.
what's up. Ada Cox. Hey, Ada Cox. How you doing? I
Ada's in
miss you
there.
this weekend. I know you.
Dawn Marie, which is
Don Marie.
She
she
got her hair pulled.
Yeah.
Yep. Not a demon. Miss Liz, I'm a bear. She said Stacy.
Stacy Allen, how you doing?
Courtney Peterson, Mr. William.
Yep. Hi, Mr. William. How you doing, man? I'm thinking about you a lot.
He said he's going to come up and visit us sometime once he
Yep.
gets everything straightened out.
Whipping Willow Paranormal. How you doing tonight? Great to have you here. Spectral Researchers. Hey, how you doing?
Frankie Lynn.
Yep. We've got some great people on there. Hey, Frankie. It was great to see you last night. Sandy Wolf, Adrian Paranormal. Hello, everybody. I'd love to say everybody's names, everything else, but I'm looking for a question. If you've got a question, you want to hear something from Joe, please drop it into the line, Billy, or that will pick it up. It's these shows are all about there. Hey, Holly, how are you doing? It's good to see you back again, and great to have you here. We do these shows for you guys, and it's fun for us, but we're all trying to get people to understand that there are some great people out there. This man right here is a good man. I enjoyed him being at the hall and doing the things he's doing. And he's also working towards making the paranormal better. What's wrong with that?
Right. It has to get better because all this silliness that's going on,
Exactly.
it's not looking good on me. And it does even greater damage to, like I call these guys the real paranormal investigators, but parapsychologists. I mean, they're getting hammered. They can't get funding or anything like that because of the garbage that goes on. So it has a negative impact. This whole thing where it's like, well, at least they're getting people interested in paranormal. No, they're hurting the paranormal. It is causing great damage.
Yeah,
It is. It is damaging locations at the same time.
I got a question for Joe from Steve White. He says, have you ever thought about using a musical instrument as a possible trigger object?
Oh, I've done that. Yeah, I have. Some investigations that I've done, involved like somebody who played music or anything like that. And that's something that I will do. If I don't have a musical, normally I don't anyways, but if I don't have one, which is most of the time, I'll play something on my phone. I think music is powerful, right? Yeah. Music can definitely, it changes our mood. It can make us happy. It can make us sad. It can motivate us. It's a very powerful, thing. And I do like to go to a lot of locations. I may not do it at all of them, but I will play music and see if I can get something going. Even when I'm doing an EVP session, for example, at Octagon Hall, I was trying to do an EVP session. I wasn't really getting anywhere, but I did try an app called the AEVPS, and all it does, it just asks questions. There's already pre-recorded questions in there, and I used a child's voice to ask the questions. Now, Mary, when she passed away, she was how old? She was what? I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, we got a response. I don't know who the 8-year-old is, but something literally responded with, I'm 8. So, when you go to a location and people say, well, these things respond better with female or a child, I have something that I can use as a trigger object and do that.
And that's really cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's stepping out of the box, getting away from the same equipment that's been used for the last 20 years.
Yep.
Right. Let's see. I've where was I at? I played music somewhere, and it really changed the atmosphere of the location.
Uh-huh.
That was a long time ago, though.
Yeah, we've been at a location before and had all the equipment going off with the music. And we made sure we didn't have anything close to it that would set the equipment off, and it was still going to the beat of the music. And then when we started something else from a different person, they didn't like it. So everything just halted.
Yep.
No equipment was making any kind of movement from it at all.
Different styles of music.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Um,
That brings us to the part of frequency. You know, as we play with frequency, there are certain frequency levels that will help them communicate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is
right.
as you're moving forward. We move forward in this field, we're moving towards this. The frequency is big anyway on this Earth and this planet, because everything is frequency and energy, and it's just amazing. So, you know, if you're trying certain things that are moving out, it helps them appear. And it's amazing, isn't it, Billy, what some frequencies will do for them.
I'll be honest. When I first thought about doing it, I was a little iffy about it.
Mhm.
But then once we started and saw what was happening, it turned out that it's a useful tool for us, at least at the hall.
Yeah. It does seem to work. Don't know why it's doing it, but it does.
Yep. And William, we have used the Native American flute music at the hall too, and got a lot of response. Usually, we get a big windstorm, and then rain starts to follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. That's what happens. It'll be a nice, clear day, and we'll play that music, and then we're running for the house.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, we have the ancient Native Americans on the property. The cave systems, all that stuff makes a big difference in what you're doing out there in the paranormal and everything. Because just like Mr. Nighthawk said, you know, dang it, he doesn't do paranormal research. He's a supernaturalist. We are all becoming more and more supernaturalists.
Right.
And we've had him on the show here. He does a great show himself. And there are some great people out here in this field that people ought to be. If you want to learn some stuff, listen to William Nighthawk. Listen to Joe Vitale. Listen to Billy and Tonya. You know, these are the people.
Don't listen to me.
By the way,
Whatever.
Beth Allen. These are the people that are making and doing the things in the paranormal, that are out here to make the paranormal better. We want to help people, you know, and it makes it feel better and everything else. We got to thank everybody so much for all of the stuff in here. Love Joe, he's real. Everybody that's saying hi, hello, Vicki Norris. Everybody saying hi and hello to Billy and Tonya and myself and Beth. We appreciate you so much.
I have one more
go
question
ahead.
From Ada for Joe. She wants to know what's your most memorable place you have been to.
Almost every location I have been to, I love, and for different reasons. But I even though I was at the Conjuring House, a lot of people would say, "Oh, it had to have been the Conjuring House." Actually, and it's because of something that had happened. Hales Bar Dam. That's when I seen a doppelganger. Wasn't seen just by me. It was witnessed by one other person. Was not expecting it. Honestly, we didn't even know what we were looking at the time. We thought, oh, it's just him, whatever. And he walks down the hall. 30 seconds later, the dude's been outside the whole time. He never walked in. And we're like, what the hell just happened? Like, holy crap. The first time so for me, you know, that's, you know, the top spot. But that isn't to say that other locations are not memorable. All locations, there's something about locations, all of them, where you're like, oh, that was really cool. Whether anything happened or not, doesn't matter. It's like, man, you know, it's beautiful. Or the people who run the locations, they make a huge difference as well. And I've met, you know, a lot of location owners, and thankfully for the most part, they love their place and they're doing everything that they can. So even location owners and those who oversee the location, care for the location, they can make a place memorable as well.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, tell me what's coming up with you. What's going on? How can people get a hold of you, know more about you, follow you?
I mean, I have a YouTube channel. It's a mess. We mostly have fun there, run our mouths. It gets pretty bad over there, but we have fun. But right now, we're getting ready to go into. Well, I hope we're getting ready to, anyways. But editing for the next documentary, Evil on Earth. We're getting ready to get into that. Crow of Judas and I. We actually recorded a song and threw it out there for the documentary, and I guess apparently the 12th of this month it's going to be on Spotify. I mean, I'm not saying for sure, but the way it looks, what I'm seeing on my end, it looks like it'll be out on the 12th. Spotify, see Google and Apple Music, and like all kinds of places, Amazon Music. So I mean that's pretty cool. I'm like, I never thought I'd be able to do that, but here we are. And right now I'm just going out there back on the road, going to different locations and investigating. The stuff that I'm doing right now in terms of investigating, I won't have any of that stuff out until late September, but I will be live streaming at different locations. Name of my YouTube channel is Entity7, paranormal.Joe Vitale. Again, don't expect my investigations to be like over the top, me freaking out or anything like that. Very laid back. We just have fun. I mean, that's really it. We're, like I said, we're hoping to have this documentary out, this next one out, towards the end of the year, October. We're looking at but it's a huge task. So
it is a huge task, but congratulations on
and it's got to follow 22 award winning documentary.
I don't know if we'll be able to get that many again, but no, I mean, it's exciting. Here, I'll go ahead and grab one.
Well, once again, man, I want to say congratulations on the Terrible Haunting. Love seeing you do what you do. Love seeing you playing your guitar. Keep it up, brother. Do what you love.
And we're excited to see the next one come out.
Yeah. Can't wait. And,
yeah, me too. I forgot what happened already. I tell you guys what. We did get some cool stuff in the Harrisville Haunting, but this one, because there were things that we introduced to, we were because I didn't say where we were at the Monroe House, and it's a very psychological haunt. And Eddie and Pam Norris, they're great people. Earlier we were talking about the cost of locations. That location is $175 a night. They give you beds. They give you snacks. I mean, like everything. They're very accommodating. Air conditioning, heat. What more could you ask for? Because a lot of locations we go to, they don't have that stuff. You're either sweating to death or freezing to death. There were things that we introduced back into the house that hadn't been there for a while, and it got at times it got pretty personal. It was very very interesting, and the responses we got, undeniable. So I'm excited to get that out there. Whenever we joke around, because it takes Matt forever to edit. We're like, yeah, it'll be out 2026. If it gets
Hey, well, when you're cutting that film and you're doing all that editing and everything else, it takes a lot. We'll be looking forward to it. I know you're going to do it right. And, Joe, it's such a pleasure having you here tonight. I want to say quickly, William Nighthawk and Spectral Researches. Yeah, you're right. There is a strong presence of elemental at the Hall. the more you get involved with the hall, the more you get to see some of the stuff around the hall. You can experience that, and hopefully that people will come out there, respect it, and do research out here. That's what this hall, paranormal investigating, is about. Researching. It's about finding out more stuff and doing history and involving it and enjoying it. And hopefully that will keep the Ontigan Hall together there for the next 50 years, so your kids can come out there and enjoy the history and learn more and more about it. And blessings to everyone here tonight. And we thank you again for being here. Bless you, Joe. Continue on. Willie and Tonya, thank you. Beth Allen.
I will be coming back.
Ah, yes. There you go.
I knew it.
All right.
Yeah.
See you all soon. Thank you again next Sunday on Into the Far.
Night,
I
everyone.
hope you have a great night and a super week. Enjoy. Thank you.
You're listening to the Para House Entertainment Network. Come join us